freaks of the industry. You's a freak, money B. The freaks of the industry. And when you see us backstage.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Freaks of the Industry podcast. This is your host, Moby, and I'm here with several people who are here as our guests as well as our hosts. We have Madam Coleman right across from me.
What's going on?
We have my boy Klevah in the building.
What's good? Exclamation point all day.
All right. And then as our special guest of today's episode of Life of an Exotic Dancer, we have Renee.
Hey. She wasn't prepared for this.
Lean into the mic. Talk to the mic. Let the people know what you're thinking.
Okay. And then right next to me is Mr. Silk.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
All right.
Shout out to the cousins.
That's right.
So with today being the topic being life of an exotic dancer, we are here with two people from two different aspects. We have a male and a female. One is a current dancer and entertainer, and one is promoter, ex-dancer, as well as a manager. So there's a lot of information we can learn today with today's podcast. Oh well, one is retired.
He's retired.
One is retired. He was like, listen, bring him back out. I don't do that shit no more, man.
My bad.
Right.
You know, my bad. So, first things first, let me go with the first question, and this one will be for Mr. Silk. Why did you start and how old were you?
Oh, man. Let's see. I think I was around 22. And for me, it was just getting some extra money, man. You know, when I was a kid, a teenager, and I'd go to house parties and to the Palace skating ring and Saints and all of that. You know what I mean? I'm in there, clothes burning and being mannish and, you know, taking my shirt off at parties and all of this. I always had that type of exhibitionist spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I became of age and I had somewhat of an athletic physique and the nerve to do it, I was led to do it. But one of the things, you remember Real Sex? The show that
That's what my problem.
Yeah. Many years ago, there was an episode that featured some male exotic dancers. I think they were from out of D.C. And I saw the episode, and, you know, I just really fell in love with that whole energy. I said, man, I can do that. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And I did it, and did it for many years. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. And your turn, Miss Lady.
Well, I was being fast. No.
Hell no.
Wrong.
Right.
And I was homeless.
Okay.
I was sleeping in my car. I had a daughter.
Right.
And I one of my friends entered me into this legs contest. And I went in there. I had no clue of what to do, but some kind of way I still won.
Nice.
Yeah, I won like $1,000, and I was homeless.
It was a legs contest?
A legs contest, not shaking booty, nothing, just legs.
Just show up with the legs.
Yeah, but back then I had nice ones, but
they still look
nice ones now.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
But yeah, so it was basically, it got started from there. I won that, went back again, won again, and so I said, you know what? One of my good friends actually live in Austin was like, you tripping? Why don't you just do this and fix yourself, get it together?
Right.
So there it went. Start from there.
I want to know what the women that was losing that particular contest, like, what did they think when they saw you walk in there and you just consecutively winning like that?
Well, it was in Austin. I wasn't from there, so they didn't like that. But then it was funny because then it flipped around and they ended up all just like becoming my friends and started dressing me and giving me outfits and pointers. It was like, here, just win.
Yeah, so you could put them on with your money. They smart.
It's like, here, just win.
Get on the winning team. They tripping.
Yeah, so it was cool.
St. Louis need to get down, shit. Legs contest.
No, don't start that shit. Then everybody, then their mama think they got good legs.
With the exclamation point.
That was way back in the day.
I mean, because I danced for a little while, and believe me, in no way, shape, or form can I even scratch a surface compared to you two. I mean, I did it for a little while back in 93 to 95, off and on. And of course, I was smaller and a lot wilder. But St. Louis you had some of the like the well-known guys that I can remember when I was coming up was Turbo and who else was that?
There's a few out there.
What's the old boy name? I can't think of his name right now. Bam Bam. Those like the main the main 1 and 2 guys that I can think of back when I was, and I had nothing. I could not. No, these guys were better dancers, better built, and just hell. Even I had to change my name at one point in time because back in the day they had those body blasts over in Illinois.
I remember those.
And
Blackman's Plaza.
my name was my name at the time.
I wasn't here.
My name at the time was Mr. Long. That was my name.
Oh.
But there was a guy that was there from Cincinnati who was sitting on 14 inches.
Whoa.
And his name was
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Long.
what's his name? Call in, please.
His name was Mr. Long. So I immediately changed my name from Mr. Long to Super Mario the Brux. I'm like, you know what? I'm working with something, but them niggas working with monsters. I can't.
It got hot in here.
I can't manage.
Yeah, it did get hot in here.
Right?
Whew. I think 14 or
Maybe she over trying to
anything.
do a Google search.
Nah, I don't want nothing 14.
I just want the brother to call in. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man.
Ain't no tunnels over here.
Yeah,
I can't do it. I'm a punk. I ain't gonna
them cats moving ovaries.
Well, what is
Right?
too big then?
They shift.
What is too big?
What is too big?
no
14
such
obviously
thing as
based
too
off
big.
of
Man, that's a horse.
There's no such thing as too big.
Madam Cole said there's never a
We
challenge.
birth babies. Ain't no such thing as too
It's
big.
not. I mean, you can adjust your body to maneuver whatever you need to do to get it done. Now, I ain't no punk. I ain't gonna run from it.
Yeah.
But, I'm gonna
What
think.
Monique say? Relax all your
There
muscles.
you go. All your
And as
muscles.
I always
yeah.
say, Madam Coleman, take it like a man.
That's right. Although we had this discussion.
No, we discussed this the last episode.
It don't sound right when the dick, especially in the ass, and you say take it like a man.
It's not a time period.
You
when
know,
it
it's a
sounds
flag
right.
on the play.
There
I'm
is
just
not a
saying
time period
that
when
wasn't
it's something
hot.
that we discussed.
That's just the asshole in me,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
nah.
get what you mean, but the people out in there don't get what you mean.
Yeah, nah.
It's an inside joke.
Just saying, no homo.
I don't want to be in there
Pause
either.
after. Take it like a man.
Leave my
Pause.
ass.
Justin, delete that part.
Edit.
I got too much ass. Usually we gonna stick stuff
If
in
there's
there.
no such thing as too much ass. So
To be
you know,
sticking stuff
it's-
off in there. Yes, it is.
Really?
By the
She
time
said
you
y'all had
open it
baby
up,
shit. My daughter came out 19
get it off
inches.
in
So.
there. You gotta hold it, get it in there. Then you got to maneuver to get it in there. Like that's just too much.
no, that sounds about right.
I got too many other holes you can play with. That one is.
Or
Too
that
many
too.
other hoes. or something. I thought it was 3 total. Well, shit, what else?
I got an ear.
What's too many?
She said she got the ear
got
and the
an ear.
nostril.
Oh,
You know
shit.
what I'm saying?
Underarm.
Put it in
Put
my
her
ear
two
so I can hear
fingers
when you're
together and make a
coming.
circle. There's another hole.
Cup your hand.
Yeah.
Put your ball
First
in.
off, first off, who's
Put
fucking
your thighs
in the ear?
together. Just put it in between the thighs and the titties.
Put it between. I used to do that. That's
what I'm
another
saying.
story.
You
Yeah.
don't fuck around and get an earring.
God.
We learned some
I think I
done
got
that
a
once
picture
or
like that
twice.
somewhere. Don't I got one with
I've
your
done that
penis
once
in
or
the-
twice.
Wow.
Put some Vaseline
Ain't
between
nothing
there.
wrong with learning new hoe
Yeah, they
moves. Ain't
think
nothing
they
wrong
in
with
there,
it.
but they not. They between your
God.
thighs.
Flashbacks. That's all I gotta say. Flashbacks.
I told you thighs save lives.
Shout out to
I
the
mean,
perfect
hey,
penises.
that's what is that like another way of titty fucking? I guess in the grand scheme.
Yeah,
Possibly.
titty fucking is awesome, but please keep in mind though, when you titty fucking, your dick gotta be the right size. Like ain't nothing worse than a skinny, short,
Yeah.
hairy looking dick. Look like you got a little,
Yeah.
little pubic. That's just nasty.
Yeah.
That's not sexy.
That's
So what
not
you're
at
saying is
all.
when the titty fucking is happening, you need to be getting hit in the chin.
You know,
by the
I have
tip.
learned.
That's where the 14 come in.
That's when 14. And you know, that's when he hit you on the chin. You like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit hot. But you
Yeah,
know,
that shit hot.
but you gotta look right. You know, I've learned from my counterpart over here across the table, and Mo's seen quite a few of our albums.
Yes.
You know, you gotta hit the perfect
Big
shot.
steps.
You gotta hit the perfect shot. Hey, you wanna know the spoon
Oh, so
trick?
you
Hey,
talking-
hey, wait a minute. You know the spoon?
Oh, that's the spoon.
That's the
Oh, the spoon, the infamous spoon. But see, that's not even what I was talking about. I was just talking about the dick itself hitting you in the
Hello.
chin. I wasn't talking about
Yeah,
the
you can
kids
hit the
hitting you.
chin. Well, you know how I feel
And
about the
he's
kids.
also one half of the cousin.
I figured so. I used
Yeah.
context clues earlier and
Yeah.
figured that out.
Yeah, but you know how I feel about the kids. Fuck them kids.
You swallowed the kids.
Kids.
Honey, I drunk the kids.
I do. Put it in my drink.
All right, so okay, now back to the next question: is all money good money?
No.
All money is not.
No.
It's not.
Okay. All
You
right.
gonna, no, it's not.
Okay.
No.
No means no. All right, cool.
No. Can't say so.
Okay. So let's start with Silk. What's the most craziest situation you've been placed in at a party? with the before, during, or after party. And then we're gonna go right next to you, right to you.
I got a couple stories, I'm sure.
Get
But,
to the mic. Get to the mic.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got a couple stories, but I guess one of the. Let me see, which is the. I guess one time a friend and I, this guy that used to promote shows and put parties together for me, right? He wanted to play a practical joke on this friend of his who wanted to book an exotic dancer. And actually, it wasn't that she was booking the exotic dancer. He wanted to play a practical joke on her and surprise her with an exotic dancer. And so she did. Well, she had another dancer, but I was a part of the surprise. What he did was, we were at the hotel at what's that on down the street that where AJ's used to be at? Was that Adams Mart?
Adams Mart.
Oh, but they changed it to what?
Now
What's
it's
the new?
Hampton Inn.
Okay, so they had
Hyatt Inn
changed
now.
it, right?
Yeah.
And the ladies were in the room having a party. I think the young lady had just turned 21, the guest of honor. And so they were in there partying and whatnot. And they had gotten a noise complaint from the hotel. They phoned up and told them to keep it down. So I had went up. And when I went up, I had on a cop uniform, right? So I come up there and I come inside and, I'm talking to the ladies. I tell them, hey, cut the music off. I said, what's going on here? We've received a noise complaint, right? So they thinking this is legitimately a noise complaint. I had a real good, believable costume on. So I started asking for identification.
Right.
It was liquor out. It was marijuana out. You know what I'm saying? And then they had actually had another exotic dancer, the one that they booked, perform, and he was there. He had some of his clothes off, and I said, well, sir, have you been in here simulating acts of sex? Are you gyrating? Show me exactly what was going on in here. Okay, and he said, well, I'm doing like this, and I said, okay, and so I see money out. So were you ladies paying him to simulate acts of sex? Do you realize that in St. Louis City, within the ordinance, that's an offense? You're paying for simulated acts of sex. I said, let me see some identification right now.
Shit.
So the young lady didn't have her ID, so I really played that up. And they was like, oh, officer, please, we're just here trying to have a good time. And I said, well, look, tell me something. Was he doing stuff like this? That's how I started taking my... And, I had them. They wanted to kill me. But wait a minute. It gets crazy. It gets crazier. So we kicking it, right? We having a good time. Next thing you know, it's the real police.
Oh, shit.
Because remember the earlier noise complaint.
Right.
Now we really haven't. Oh, man, the police came. And I'm going to tell you when it was in the city. I don't know if you remember this, but the what is it, the Kojic thing that they had?
Kojic convention.
Yeah, that convention. It was that weekend that convention was in town, downtown. So police was real deep. Downtown, for security and stuff. Man, they had officers lined up all through the hallway, evicted the people. I think the aunt, she got arrested for cursing the police out because she wanted them to, when they do an eviction in a hotel, they make you keep the door open. You know how stuff goes with those hotels. They make you keep the door open. So she wanted the officers to let them shut the door so that they could get dressed and everything and situate that they wouldn't shut the door. So it turned into a crazy ordeal. But that was one of the memorable crazy times, definitely.
All right, your turn.
I don't know if mine is that good.
She's like, shit, I should have went first.
Right?
Now, the most craziest thing that I ever done, it was this judge in L.A.
Oh, yeah. I've heard this story on your IG Live.
Yeah, it was this judge in L.A., and it was me and my homegirl, and he had this fetish. So we used to go over to his, I'm trying to keep my gum under my mouth because he told me to stop chewing my gum. But he had this fetish. So we used to go over to his house. This man, he was a judge, a big-time judge. His house was beautiful. We go in there. I don't drink. So I'm in there drinking juice. I'm drinking soda water. I'm just drinking everything. And he take us to this room. And it's like plastic laid out everywhere. The room is nice though. It's got all this stuff up in there. And he offered us $1,000 to pee on him. It can only be from the waist down. You can't get it up any higher, and you had to be creative with it. So the more creative you was with peeing
Okay.
with peeing on him. This is going in my book, but the more creative you got with peeing on him, the more money you made.
Right.
He didn't want sex. He didn't want none of that. But he was a really, really big judge in LA. So needless to say, anytime I got a ticket, I was good.
Damn right.
What
So,
the
yeah.
fuck is the deal with the peeing shit?
I think because it's warm.
Go take a shower.
Some people like it. It's usually powerful men that like
Yeah,
it. I've
especially
done
if it's
it
not
a few times.
stinky pee. If you don't
what
got
pee
like,
ain't stinky?
I mean, pee don't got to stink.
Well, I mean, not stinky. Like, it still smell like pee at the end of the day.
No,
No,
not
no.
really. No.
Even in its less pissy state.
No,
No.
like it's
It
all
smells
about
like
how
piss.
much you
that-
flush out
is
your
that
system.
Oh my god.
Yeah, some men
No,
like
pee
it.
don't have to stink. No.
Hey, I've done it. I ain't gonna no shame in my game.
I ain't say it's shameful. It's just I know it's to each his own, but just for me, I'm trying to figure
just
out
like
what's
it.
the
It was kind of
appeal.
fun though. I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you
right.
wasn't the one getting peed on. You was doing
Yeah, I
the
don't want to
man.
get peed on.
Some people get off
I'd
degrading
pee on a
people.
girl for $1,000.
Yeah,
and she
I was,
paying me
I made-
$1,000
Fat
Piss on the
Yeah.
fish for a value
Or-
meal. Hawaiian
For
punch like
a
ice.
four.
Yeah, he was a regular. He loved it.
Say less.
Yeah,
That's some shit.
Say less.
You just text and be like, I just drank a whole bunch of water.
for real
They
though.
like that shit though.
For real though.
Hell
And then
no.
he had these things like swinging in the air, so you could like hook onto something.
Yeah.
You could swing. As
Y'all
long
in there
as you kept
trapezing
it
and
from
shit.
yes. As long as you kept it from the waist
Yeah.
down, he was cool.
Yeah,
Sound
she can
pretty
call her
cool.
brother up right now and just, I'm gonna pee. You wanna listen?
I really
Listen to
gotta go
this.
to the bathroom.
Listen to this.
Listen to this
Hey.
piss, bitch.
Hey, my dude like that shit. He like listening when I pee. He like, hold on, just put the phone down. I got you. Hold on.
You can
I've
sometimes
been
tell
drinking
the
all
fatness of a
day.
vagina
That's freaky, dude.
based off of the pee stream.
Wait,
over the
what? What
phone.
happened?
Really?
That's probably why he likes that.
Wait, say it again. You
you
can do
can
what?
tell how fat a woman's vagina is based off of hearing her
Mine
pee.
ain't all that fat. It's kind of cute, and petite.
This is
Yeah, I ain't never heard that. I ain't never
Just
heard
think about it. Next time, just think about it. I'm not gonna go into detail, but just think about it. Next time you open the phone and a chick just using the bathroom, if it's heavy,
Okay.
it's heavy. I mean, there's exceptions
I
to
didn't
everything.
think
I
about
haven't
that.
found no exceptions to this though.
Interesting.
that.
You
I
might
have
want
yet
to
to
call
find
in
an
and pee right
exception.
quick. Somebody call in and pee right quick so we can
Yeah.
Show, Lord Jesus.
You ever heard?
I've never heard
Make
that.
me
but
want
I
to
mean,
go
hey,
pee right now.
go.
You know what I'm saying? Go pee right now.
Now
Let
she
me
goes,
listen.
is this heavy?
I
What
need
does the
to
heavy
listen.
sound
Yeah,
like?
what's the heavy? How does it sound?
That
How
heavy
does it sound
Chevy
heavy?
shit.
I mean, you
mean,
can tell the position
when
that
I'm in
she's
my
sitting
boss,
in,
I'd
you know,
be
when she
like
peeing. I
pushing
guess.
I'm
it
just saying,
out.
like streams sound different when it's hitting the water.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm saying, like the heaviness of the stream hitting the water.
Now, I used to pee real
Interesting.
hard back in the day, so a girl know I got a big dick. You know, I would purposely try to push it out as hard as I can. So
She
she'd
knew
be like,
you had a big dick because you
"Damn."
just walk
Yeah.
around
I
and
mean, I
tell
got a big
people
But
dick
that.
I kind
anyway,
of
but,
equate that
you
too,
know.
though. So I get
Right,
you.
so
For a man, but not
Right.
a woman.
All right, I'm just telling y'all.
I'm now finna start
I'm
listening
finna
to
me
people
too. I'm
pee.
finna go listen to.
It's gonna be
yeah.
I listening to
Now I
coworkers pee in
heard
the
some
bathroom. Like,
ladies
look,
pee.
you got a fat one. Let me
You
see.
sound a little light in there. What you got? Pelvic bone? What's going on?
Right? She ain't
Little
got
punk
nothing.
pee.
I knew it wasn't
Little
me.
punk.
It's like the girls with no ass. Drink some more water.
Right.
Be like a man. No, just don't do that.
yeah, I knew that. Don't. nuh-uh.
Right.
All
Come on
so,
with it.
So now the next question is, we go back to you, Miss Homegrown. Because I was on your page lurking, and I've seen throughout the years you met a lot of famous people. So we'll start with you, and we'll convert on over to Mr. Silk. So name some of the people you've met throughout the years of your being in the entertainment field.
Tupac,
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z, Ice Cube, Dre, Busta Rhymes, T.I.,
Jeezy.
Jeezy. It's so many.
Damn.
You know, but it was funny because my first video was from back home with one of my homeboys, K Sam. He player hater. So that was my very first video.
Okay.
So then I did my second video here was with Domino.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that one.
Pa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my second video that he actually was from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never been to St. Louis.
Where are you from?
I'm from San Antonio, Texas. 210. Bam, bam. Yeah, for life. But yeah, San
She said for
Antonio.
life.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so my second video was here. So then it just kind of like opened up the door for, just kept going and going and going.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, Mr. Silk, how about yourself? How many or who all have you met?
Associated with being in the industry that I met, not really a lot of mainstream people. These were more so male exotic dancers. I guess the most famous person with notoriety would probably be the brother that played in Chocolate City. What's his name? What is dude's name?
You talking about the main character?
Yeah, one of the main characters in Chocolate City. Man, his name slips my mind, but that cat there, that would probably be the most famous, associated with dancing. Male exotic dancing really doesn't get the same type of appeal commercially as female exotic dancing does. Sure. A lot of female exotic dancers, like she was talking about, end up getting cast for video shoots and that type of thing. So, it just wasn't really that. I did do some dancing out of state in some other states, but never, like I said, was it ever a case where I met some mainstream famous people. Now, just in my private life, I've met, some famous people from various industries, actors, actresses, and whatnot. Oh, I know dude's named Bolo. That's
I was
his
just
name.
going to say, I was thinking you saying that.
Yeah, Bolo.
Okay. All right. So speaking of personal life, how has the entertainment in you guys' field, how does that affect your personal life in terms of dating and just everyday life?
You want me to answer first?
We go with you first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for me, one of the things that you get when you meet a lady, and honesty, they say, is always the best policy. So you try to be forthcoming. You always get to that point of the conversation of, so what do you do for a living? And you can imagine it's kind of shocking sometimes when you say, well, I'm a male exotic dancer. But for me, it was one of those things to where it was kind of important to be honest and forthcoming, because I performed at a lot of baby showers, birthday parties, bachelorette parties.
That's how you drop that baby. That's how you drop that baby.
Baby
seriously,
showers,
baby showers, divorce parties,
baby showers,
Christmas parties,
Trying to drop that baby.
all kind of parties. And so
One way or
pulled
another.
up in a Burberry shirt at the
seriously, I've done a lot of women's
wild.
parties here in this city, and so it was not unusual at all for a lady to meet me, and then if a close friend of hers, cousin, aunt, or something saw me, they would say, hey, you know what, I know him, he did so-and-so's party, he was the strip, so if I were to not mention it, it can come across as me being dishonest. And so you tell a lady, and sometimes women would sometimes there's a stigma about male exotic dancers that they're gay or bisexual, which that's not the case with me. Sometimes you get people who think that we're all whorish and promiscuous, which that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. I mean, I enjoy sex, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have to be the case that you're whorish. You know what I mean? Some think that you're a gigolo, a prostitute, and one thing doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the other. But there are just a lot of stigmas that come with being in the industry. And, some ladies will also tell you that they can accept what you do and that they're okay with it. They don't mind the other ladies. They're not jealous and so on and so forth. And then you say, okay, you get with them and you all have a relationship or whatever you want to call it. And then the jealousy comes out. She's doing everything that she says she wouldn't do. So it can definitely be difficult juggling the situation. It takes a secure woman to be with a male exotic dancer,
Okay. All right, Miss Homegrown.
Same thing. Men say they can handle it. They get controlling. They get jealous. I don't even think that I've ever dated one man that didn't when I was dancing. And even now, still being in the industry and management and doing stuff like that, men are territorial, I guess you could say, and I want you home with me in bed, and when I go to bed, I want you, but even if I'm not there, I still want you there, type deal. So I pretty much, when I got married, I stopped dancing. I danced for a little while, and I stopped doing everything because of course, I could handle it. And
Right.
then it turned into, you know.
Right.
And then once I came back out of it, that's when I had to reinvent myself and go back through that whole situation because I gave it up to do that. But yeah, they say they can, but I've never met anybody that really hold you down throughout that whole process and just really let you do you.
If you go into it with that, you just should. Like if I knew that you were stripping when I met you, then
See, we don't strip.
or dancing, either way, in the industry, any form of adult entertainment, any form of it. If I met you doing that,
I mean, they all say that though.
Yeah, I can get that. That's interesting.
Just can't deal with it.
You know, another thing I'd like to add was one of the things that I found to be somewhat difficult was when you met a woman and you told her that you were an exotic dancer and she learned it, or even if it was the case that you met her at one of your shows or performances, when they find out something, this is not always the case, but sometimes when they find out that you're a dancer, it is difficult for some women to separate your character, you know, this stage person that you are, this dancer character, from the real person that you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like a lot of times, like that, dance for me, you know, and I don't really like that. I don't, you know, and when I'm silk, I'm silk. I turn that on, I do that, I'm at a show, I'm at a party, but when I'm, you know, at home, I want to be the real person that I am, you know what I mean? Because that's made up stuff.
They think
So,
it's 24/7.
It's 24/7, right. And they want you to be that person, and that's really who they're after in some cases is that person and not truly you. So it's difficult sometimes to find people who really want you for you as opposed to that, you know, that dancer character that you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good man.
I have
you said that well.
in true fashion, I have a story of my own. Dealing with my personal
Story time
situation. I was dating a young lady that I went to high school with, and I had stopped dancing for about a good 3 or 4 years. No, let's see, this is happening about in '97. I stopped in '93, so yeah, about 4 years. And she hit me about the blue on some old look. Tonight's my cousin's birthday. We had a stripper he canceled. So can you fill in? I'm like, babe, I ain't did this in so long. I'm like, she begged me, please. I said, we got food. We know what. I said, well, look, I ain't doing this for free. So what you got? She like, we got a $75 money order. I said, you know what? I'll take it. I mean, I was behind on child support.
Right.
You're right.
You lost half your money.
I was behind on child support, so that $75 could work. You know, I was like,
Cash that wasn't out back then.
Right.
Talking about the 90s.
I'm flipping it.
So I said, all right, well, let me see what I can do. So I went in my closet, see what I can find some little stuff to put on. So I said, okay, so she sent me the address. So I went over somewhere over in Jennings. Went in the basement, and I seen her sisters, and because at the time, the way I met her, was through high school, and we hooked up after high school, and none of her siblings even knew I did that. She knew, but none of them knew. So it was kind of embarrassing to hear I'm dancing half naked in my drawers in front of your people.
Right.
But this is the kicker. We fell out over this, and it had nothing to do with me. Her aunt was there, and her aunt had been drinking. Her aunt went crazy. Her aunt pulled my dick out of my drawers, started jacking me off in front of everybody. Shit was fire.
What did you do? No, I'm just that's all.
I mean, I damn near, because the shit was fire. I didn't stop her. Something about them
Should've
old,
put it right in
something
her
about
eye.
them old hands on this big ass slime. Shit, something about that just felt good.
Okay.
It just felt right.
Whoa.
Even though it
Teach your
He
ass.
over here about to throw up.
It looked wrong. It looked wrong,
Everything
but
about
it
it.
felt right.
Lord
But it
Jesus.
felt so right.
Them old veiny hands.
She probably got arthritis
Oh my
like a motherfucker now.
God
Just
damn.
saying.
Did she have dentures?
It was worth that little 75.
Oh, yeah. Did she have
It
dentures?
was every damn stroke.
If she had dentures, she's a winner.
I don't know. She never. Did she suck my dick?
Oh my
I
God.
think she did.
Did she took her teeth out?
No, that was in.
Oh,
That's on my bucket list too.
somebody with teeth.
To take all your teeth out?
No, not my teeth. But
No, I mean,
for a woman to take her dentures out and go
I want to
ham.
take my teeth out.
All the denture women.
I just want
Klevah
to get dentures
is-
on the strength.
You know what I'm saying?
Ask Chris what Klevah does.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all crazy.
If you don't have no teeth right now, just let us know.
Yeah.
Inbox Klevah.
I'm trying to take
What's
all
your
my
Facebook name?
All right, so the next question is, I know The next question is, how many different stage names have you had? Now, before you guys answer, I'll just go ahead and mine was, like I said, at first mine was Mr. Long until I met that guy from Cincinnati with the 14-inch dick and changed my name to Super Mario. And I was like, I'm done.
Anaconda or something, I'm sorry.
So,
Fuck that, I'd have stayed Mr. Long.
Have you had? Has it always been Silk?
No, I only had 2. When I first started and I was just a novice, I didn't know anything about the game. I was D. That was just, I mean, it was the initial of my real name.
Right.
So afterwards, this male exotic dancer, I don't know if you know X-Rated. He was the one from back in the day.
Back in the day.
Him and his lady Lisa, they gave me my name Silk. They felt like I had a kind of a suave, laid back, Model S type look, personality or whatever. So they gave me that name and I ran with it. It's been
perfect.
Silk ever since.
All right.
Yeah, I started off as Nay.
Okay.
And then
D and Nay.
Yeah, I was just Nay, And then as time went on, because of the situation of how I got actually started into dancing back home, I started at a predominantly white club.
Okay.
No black girls in there. So I was the very first black girl that was in there that had hips and all that type of stuff. Yeah.
So was showing up them nights.
No, they was actually. Let me tell you, when I first started there, I had to make a bet with the manager that in 3 months I could make him what he would have. If he gave 3 months, I can make him triple what he would make.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I was talking big. But I just felt like I had faith in myself. My mom was my biggest supporter. She made all of my costumes, all my outfits and stuff. And I did shows. So I didn't just put on the G-string and just walk out there.
Right.
I did shows. I had showers on stage. I had lollipops. I was entertaining. After, after all of was said and done, I would come out there for like the first 2 months and they would just raise. It was bad. I'm from the South. They would start quarters.
Wow.
They would walk away from my stage. Oh, it was it was so many times I would be like, I ain't gotta go do this here. But I'm glad I went through it because it opened up the doors for the next ones. And I made it ask the man, if I do make you this money, you have to hire black women, no matter what, And I did. It was the last month.
All right.
What's up?
All right.
And
Rosa
so my
Parks.
name came
All
out
right,
to be
Rosa Parks,
Fantasy.
I see you.
Yeah, so I ended up with the
Opening
name
up doors
Fantasy.
for the
All
So
right.
I was every white man's dream.
There it is.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yep.
That's what's up.
Okay, now the next question is, what song gets you hyped, get you prepared, get you ready to perform? Is there a particular
should be
song?
interesting.
Yeah. I used to dance with 2 Live Crew.
Mm.
So
Any
the
song
Tootsie
or-
Roll.
Oh, okay.
And the 69 Boys first, I would always dance to that one. The Mariah Carey, the Fantasy, the ODB, and then 2 Live Crew. Oh, I'm tearing it up. I'm talking about I'm all over. I'm doing handstands, flips. Yeah, that would give me every time. And then the slow ones,
Yeah.
the H-Town, Silk, and my main one was Jodeci's The Fiendin'.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I had the idea of throwing all your coins.
What about you, Silk?
For me, before the performance, pre-game, if you will, it was at Murphy Lee Get Money. It was a local favorite, and that's what I was about ready to do, is get that money, you know what I mean? So it was always a motivator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, what's the most you guys brought in one particular night or one particular set?
Ooh.
Who you want to answer first?
Whoever.
I think for me, it was probably a couple of grand, and that was pretty big. Again, male dancers don't get paid the way that females.
Right.
The industry is just two different monsters altogether, if you will. If you take, for example, videos and the famous Making It Rain, as you see that's being done over women. And so when it comes to women tipping, I think that a lot of times some of the women in the stage are scared and, kind of meek and passive. And so they're not in there. They're not as assertive and aggressive as men are with tipping. And you just don't get that same type of showering with the money.
Right.
But when you're in a situation to where it's a lot of women in there and the right caliber of women, you know what I mean, and the right energy in the audience or whatever in the crowd, you can turn out to have a really nice night. You know what I mean? And then we would also do what you call backstaging, which is after you do your main performance, you come out in the audience and you do kind of little private lap dances right there, chair dances, if you will. And if you grinding and hustling and really getting around, you can get the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, when I was young, I think the most I ever made in one night was about 7,000.
Oh, that's what's
nice,
up.
Nice.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See the
Yeah.
difference?
I'm in
Yeah,
the wrong
big difference.
industry.
Big difference.
Yeah.
I need to get some women out
But see,
here.
it was so different back then. You know, I mean, these girls make money now, but to
Oh,
me, it's
yeah.
more degrading now.
Mhm.
I'm not with the whole throw it up and everybody got to run and chase it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Back when I was dancing, you knew that money was yours
Right.
because it was thrown on your stage.
It was etiquette. It's more of a
Yeah,
etiquette.
it was. Yeah, and I mean, they was making it rain, and then the scene, the drug scene, all that stuff was new back then, so everybody was getting money.
Yeah.
So everybody wanted to, I'm getting more than you type deal. So it was. You didn't have to sell your soul. You just had to just get out there and just kind of, do your thing.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it didn't take a whole lot either.
Right. So, at one point in time, or how old were you, or what? How long had it been since you retired to start managing and promoting?
It kind of fell into my lap a little bit. I was still dancing when I kind of started getting into management because I was out in LA. So we would do a lot of parties out there, and so then I came back to San Antonio, and I was still dancing, but I put 20 girls together and took them to Nebraska. So I was doing shows, but I was still dancing at the same time. So then I kind of just eased my way out of it. I only probably danced really like 2-3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I would do it here and there. If the money was right, while I was putting on my shows, a lot of times they wouldn't want my show unless I was dancing.
Okay.
So I would do like a feature and then let the girls, get their money or whatever.
Okay. Now, if I recall correctly, so I know you did a little moonlighting, doing live bands, and yeah, I never had a chance to see it, but I knew about them and I seen
The shows that I put
the
together,
shows you put together, yeah.
because I didn't perform.
Right.
music.
Yeah, let me clarify
Well,
that.
I've just always, ever since a kid, been an all-around hustler, go get it. So when you get in the entertainment industry, entertainment, it touches all spectrum. So music was something that I saw as being something lucrative to get into in terms of putting on performances. So I booked some bands before and gave some shows, and
Yeah, I seen some of the pictures you took
Yeah.
from some of your some of the things that you put together, and they were very mature, very classy, real nice.
Yeah,
real
I've
chill.
done that before. I mean, money for me, in my mind, is like a seed, or should be used like a seed. If you just take money and just consume it, and you just buying and spending and buying and spending, and you're not allowing that money to grow and make money for you, you're going to run out of the money, So you got to do something with the money to make more money, So I'm always looking for some type of opportunity to invest in, generate some cash,
Right. Sounds good to me. Now, Madam Coleman, you're pretty quiet over there. You have any kind of questions, comments, or concerns for
Well,
these
I mean,
guests?
I know Mr. Ellis pretty well.
You know me?
Me, little on me.
Yeah, I actually know you pretty well. You definitely are a hustler
Yeah,
of all trades, but
something
I mean, I've dealt with other strippers outside of him, but I will say, even just between noticing and watching the two industries, he's right. For some reason, the male industry, and I don't know if it's because Chippendales is kind of like more commercialized, although I don't even really think that's a show, and what people see in the movies, Chocolate City is, I'm going to be honest with you, that's not really what I'm used to seeing in the show. It's way different.
Yeah, it's different.
They kind of put on something that more, that you would see with Chippendales. And as far as the females, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. It's a little more raunchy, a little more, ratchet, as we would say. But it's definitely an industry And so you kind of do find people kind of convert to being promoters or, doing other things outside of. Some people just trying to get away from it. Get away from that brand. Like, I did this one in my 20s. I'm not trying to be known for this shit. And I'm 50 years old. Like, come on. Like, seriously.
I mean, you should have a plan.
Always have an exit plan.
You got to have an exit. And a lot of people don't have exit plans.
They
That's
don't.
the thing. Yeah. So they end up finding themselves like, well, what I'm supposed to do now?
Well, they're used to that fast money.
Right.
So when you used to fast money, you never think, 10 years
gonna,
ahead like the rest of us. You
like
just
this
like
here,
short term.
This is an eye opener, I would think, for a lot of dancers and everybody. Right? This quarantine.
Oh yeah.
If this doesn't make
Shout
you
out
get
to
you a
OnlyFans.
plan together, the way they shutting down these clubs left and right.
Yeah.
But I must say that I'm pretty proud of some of the young ladies that have been creative enough to keep the money going.
Right.
Putting the private shows on.
Aren't they also making money with the with OnlyFans?
OnlyFans didn't even start out as
Right.
a porn or not porn, an adult entertainment site or whatever.
Right.
It was about just creatives, but then, like you said, the creativeness during the quarantine, it was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, it make you
can
really
make my money this
rethink, I should have had a second hustle or something back up, or if I didn't stack my money right because I want that fast money, and it's like, you just can't do nothing but think about it.
These clubs open back up. You go in there and get your money and get you a game plan. This is not forever.
Unless you got COVID weight, you ain't going back no damn way.
First of all, everybody need to get that COVID 20 off their way.
You know what I'm saying?
That little COVID 20 ain't hurt nobody out here.
That's true.
Y'all know
Don't
back
let
on the
nobody
stage
make
with
y'all
that
ashamed of your COVID 20.
Unless 10 of that 20 went into your ass, you should be good.
I think
Bitch, I showed you earlier. She need all the COVID 20 to go to her.
Let me put this out here right now. My
She can
mama
have
gave
some
me
of
this
mine.
one here. Ain't no surgery over here.
God bless your mama.
Yeah,
My
God bless
mama gave me this
God
in
bless you.
age
Got it
now.
from my
But
mom.
yeah.
God bless you and anybody with you with
no,
that.
thank you. Me and my
saying.
little midgets. Yeah, we came together.
Gotta make sure it work. Gotta make sure it work. It just.
Walking around with
And I'm
tendons
not
and
knocking it, age. I mean,
Yeah,
teach his
teach his
own.
own.
You know.
I mean, if I had somebody to do it, I'd probably do it. I could use a little more ass.
Shit.
I knew your ass
Here
was
we
gonna
go.
say,
Come
you
on,
hate
man.
it.
Here we
You
go.
hate it like the rest of
I ain't
them.
hate you.
Now I
I
have
got
to like
asthma.
in my stomach.
I got
Yeah.
asthma. I love ass.
Sometimes, just a little bit more ass. I don't know. I check my
Until you
cup up and it
gotta,
was all right.
girl, until you gotta dress it, and then you got.
I don't
It's
see
a
how
lot.
y'all- I
Let
don't
me
see
tell
how
you
they wanna
something.
do it,
I
period.
dress it all the time. When I be putting on them dang on formal gowns, I be like, this don't make no damn sense.
Ooh, they don't get it.
Split be done
See,
split.
you got ass. She got a big old ass. There's a difference.
No, I have a pleasantly plump.
Right. So you ain't
Right.
have to
We
do
said the
ass
same
like
thing.
that.
Yeah,
Well,
but
you
it
put
sounds
hold
nice.
on.
Hers
Pleasantly-
did
That's
sound
just like
cuter.
stripper and
hold on.
exotic dancer.
Yeah,
I'm
hers
pleasantly
sound
plump.
cuter.
Don't
I'm-
do that no justice. When you
Hold
say
on.
pleasantly
It's
plump,
plump.
I'm speaking in nigga knees. That's all.
Which I'm glad you said that though, because a lot of people don't know the difference between stripper and exotic dancer.
Exotic
Like-
dancers, they put on a show.
Like you were saying, you
yeah,
got
you put on a
whole-
show.
they freak
You
your
are
mind.
yes.
They stimulate
I'm
theatrical.
stimulating you.
Yeah.
I'm not. It doesn't mean that
Anybody can take their clothes off.
anybody can take their clothes off, and it's not even about sex. People confuse, and that's a lot of the problem too. Where we come back to the dating thing, because they keep thinking it's because you're a dancer that means that you got to be having sex, or you got to be doing this, or you got to be doing that. If I know how to mentally have sex with you, I can look at you. And that's the thing too. I think a lot of the women lost today is the eye contact.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I could dance with my eyes. I didn't even have to really take nothing off.
That's true.
And just get, a little touch here and there, use the knee. It was so simple, the stuff that you could have done to make the money, that they made it so hard.
But the
You know what I'm
drugs,
saying?
the drugs is harder. I mean, think about it.
People
They
stop
doped up on
using
more
their
stuff.
minds. People stop thinking.
Yeah.
Well, no,
with
if you notice,
technology has
it's like
changed
she
everything.
said, exotic dancers now, they don't, it's not, they don't put time into their whole production. They just don't. They just get up on stage and just
They
throw
wear
something
one
together.
outfit all night.
They do one outfit all night. And
I couldn't even-
wash their ass, but
Yeah.
it's a whole nother story. But I'm just saying, they just don't put nothing into it, no change in they look, nothing. It's just they just there, and it's like, are you serious right now? But you're right, they don't look in people's eyes, and
It's this.
what they don't realize is, I used to say it all the time when I would go in the shows. I'd be like, it's funny how you got the women that would address. Now, of course, naturally, y'all know when I go somewhere, I'm always the only chick in the group of men. But the funny thing is, I'm the one that's gonna spend the most money. So, and some of the girls like now miss that. They like, oh, well, I'm gonna go over here to the dudes. I control all of their wallets. They ain't even mine. I'm gonna tell them when to pay you and when not to pay you. Then again, it is why they call me Madam Coleman. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah. I know, girl. I have a question. Can I ask him a question? Okay, so like I dealt with male dancers too, as far as managing them and stuff. So do you think that the problem with being able to expand yourself here is because you are in St. Louis?
Now, when you say expand yourself, what
As far
exactly?
as really making the money that you said that you really wasn't making, do you think because you're here? Did you travel a lot?
I mean, I didn't travel often, but I have traveled some doing the dancing. I think that there are some other cities that are bigger, that are, have a larger amount of tourism.
Yeah.
You take a Miami, you take a Vegas, you take a New York, a city like that, Atlanta, and with tourism, there can definitely be more money to be made, especially on a club scale. See, what I did was more so of the birthday parties, as I said, bachelorette parties, that type of private party scene. But when you get into doing clubs, that's when you really make a much larger draw. And so you and I were discussing off air earlier, in St. Louis, the laws don't permit you to bare, your nude body. You can't get nude here. I think what's that club over on or that it's not a club, that bar on Page. No, where they do the pasty thing.
Oh
yeah.
Rhonda's or something like that.
Rhonda's something like that. So there's like
only be topless.
that, and what did they have? The Bears Den. The closest you're gonna get to nudity here. DBs. So a lot of bar owners, club owners, and whatnot here in St. Louis are reluctant to have male exotic dancers there because it jeopardizes their liquor license. If somebody slips up and your sack falls out of your covering, or your penis comes out, or whatever, so a lot of people don't even want to give male exotic dancing a platform here. So I think, if I were in some other cities, it could have been a little broader.
I could see that. If you was traveling, I don't see why you wouldn't have made money.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
There it is.
I'd have took you some places.
Wait a minute.
Okay?
Don't get me wrong. I made money, but just not on the scale.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I would have had you on the scale.
Yeah.
We'd have got you out of here.
When a woman pimp
and when
shows
you're
up.
in a lot of those other markets and arenas, it opens the door for other opportunities to, transition over from porn to getting into movies and, a lot more other opportunities. You're in the scene with directors and producers and whatnot,
Yeah, I did some porn for a minute. So definitely.
I've never done porn.
I didn't do it willingly.
I've done my own.
Yeah, I would say I didn't do it for nobody
y'all
else.
done
When you were dancing, was Freak Dog dancing then?
You know what? I didn't know him till I started throwing parties.
Okay.
The people who I people I
Yeah, I
knew
knew
were
Freak Dog.
Bam Bam,
X-Rated,
X-Rated,
Lil Rock,
and
Turbo,
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and after being around those fellas here and there, different caliber, I wasn't even on that level. So I stopped.
Okay.
I think the men put more effort into it than the women do.
They do.
Like men, they come with the costumes, the outfits, the lights, the this, the that.
They can
That's
sit back
what I
there
know.
and get the dick hard with the cock rings and get like, y'all got a lot to do.
Yeah.
Tie it off.
Yeah.
Tie to the leg. Do all this stuff. You might have a fluff in the bag.
Watch it, yeah. You got a fluffer.
We had
It's like a whole porno scene. Like, what
She
the
sit
hell?
back there all bent over.
She's like, what you doing here, girl? I'm just getting ready,
I'm just
girl.
getting ready. Getting
Blowing
ready.
them up. You got the oil.
I'm a fluffer.
Yeah, we had the fluffers indeed.
Let me find
Definitely,
You have
definitely.
fluffers?
Oh yeah, they were there. They were there.
Ain't nobody called me the fluff. That's all I know. Just saying, I'm
Are
an
you the
excellent
finisher?
fluffer.
So you're the finisher, you're not the fluffer.
Well, the
The
problem
fetish.
is if I make you finish, you ain't getting back hard for a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
your
Madam
shit.
Coleman is a
Talk
beast.
your shit.
That mouthpiece is very. Her mouthpiece
That's
is
confident
very.
as a motherfucker. You gonna tell me about my body. You gonna tell me that I'm not gonna get back on.
Didn't
I mean,
you
if
hear
you
my
do it
story
right.
earlier with the little
What
young
about
dude?
your story?
If you do
Yeah, I
it
did.
right.
All I did was kiss that motherfucker. Now, if I gave him some pussy,
Well,
it'd
that's
be a
on
whole
him.
other-
His mind must
If
have
you
been
do
weak.
it right.
I'm still traumatized
That
by
right
it.
there
you
shows
do it
that
right.
Madam Coleman has a crisp
Doing it
mouthpiece.
right.
That mouthpiece is top
do
notch.
it
I mean,
I
I'm
can
glad
verify.
I didn't give him no pussy. Boy,
That-
he would have been in trouble.
Exactly.
God,
A lot of people can't handle situations like that. You got to be.
why I mess
There's a
with young
maturity
dudes.
level involved with kissing, hand jobs, fucking, anal, hair pulling, name calling.
So I ain't letting him
Damn,
sniff
I'm
it either.
horny. Shit, I'm
You
just
didn't
talking.
let
Right?
him snip it either.
I ain't letting him sniff it. When aren't you horny? I just want.
Actually, man, I've been
hungry.
cool for
I'm not horny.
about 2-3 weeks though. Seriously.
Motherfucking lying.
I-
First of all
no,
his
I swear.
ass in this room
I
right now.
swear.
There is no reason
Hold on,
why
I'm not
nobody's
saying- hold
not
on.
horny.
I'm not saying
You
I
said
wouldn't want to
wouldn't.
fuck right now.
We
I'm
talked
just
about
saying
thighs
I
at the beginning of the show.
yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. I mean, I did promise a friend I'll pull my dick out today, but I'm
No,
gonna
you don't
wait
get Facebook
till
shut
next-
down.
I'm
Don't do
gonna wait till
that.
next week.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna wait till next
He
week.
like,
Pull my
please
dick.
don't.
I was on the side. I was just gonna say
He look like, please
No,
don't.
sir.
This is after the show,
He
right?
said next.
Is
He,
that
he,
the show?
yeah, he like go over there.
He look
Know
like,
how
please
he
don't.
is.
Come
Don't
on,
do
it's
it.
okay.
Don't
Come on.
do it.
Silk is my dude. I wouldn't dare. I would
Yeah.
not dare.
Yeah.
I'm just
he about
talking.
threw up
I'm just
over there.
talking shit. You know me. I'm shit talking sometimes.
I can't.
At a party, that's something different.
Yeah, the party. That's way.
At my
that's
parties,
way. You ever been
that's
to a party?
What kind
You
of
ever-
party?
Swinger party.
Swinger party.
Adult parties.
Oh, yeah. I never
your
done
hum
it.
over there was hilarious.
Did,
She
were
was like,
you were you just like watching, or you kind of?
I'm gonna tell y'all this story. This is actually going in my book.
Wait a minute, we got something back. What you say, girl?
What you say?
Did you like it when you went?
No, and I think it's because it was a swinger club in East St. Louis.
PTs.
God.
PTs. Yeah.
She probably saw the girl with the nub.
Yeah, they
Nah,
keep
she's
trying
supposed to go to
take me in
Centerville
there.
when it was
Oh,
popping
Lord
back in the
Jesus.
day.
Was it the
Like, I didn't know
Colony?
what was going on.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Colony Theater?
Ooh,
Oh,
yes.
the colony.
They need to close that down.
Ugh.
That is disgusting.
The
I
co-
wouldn't
oh
even-
yeah, no,
That's
gross.
nasty.
Ugh.
gross, and, like,
Gross.
I
The
didn't
colony. No, hell
like,
no.
kind of realized
Yeah.
what it was.
That trifling. Ain't no way. Well,
I'm
just
so
know.
sorry for your bad experience.
Just know you are. For those who are actually interested in the lifestyle or just want to come see what it's about.
Yeah.
Ironically, me and my wife, we are the people to speak about, as well as Madam Coleman.
Yeah.
We've hosted parties throughout the years, and we've had minimal bullshit. Everyone has a good time, very low key. But that's a story.
Yeah, that
That's-
place. I went there one time,
Yeah.
and when they started shooting it on the floor, I was like, yeah, it's time to go.
Wanna go Silk?
I couldn't sit there. I feel like the
You wanna
whole
go?
place should have been covered in
You wanna try that
plastic.
too?
Like it should have been one big ass condom. And then you look
I
at the
can be
type
your
of people. I'm
date, 'cause I
like,
don't know, but
man.
Just wrap the whole house in saran wrap.
Well, it was like the type of people that was there. It's like,
At
I
least I
know
know
we all
you
in the
look good.
lifestyle, but man, we shouldn't have to be looking
Yeah.
at this. Like some of y'all need to just.
You know?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like it's just disgusting. I mean, I've been in some sexy
Too many
places,
people
but that was
touching,
nasty.
grabbing.
Trifling.
I don't
Yeah.
think that place
Yes.
is even open anymore. I don't
I think
know.
it's called something else, ain't it?
Oh, is
It's closed down, ain't it? Last
No,
time,
I'm
last
sure
I remember.
so, you
'Cause
know,
I remember somebody, Bella, this Italian chick that bought it, tried to fix it up, and
Yeah, she did a horrible
didn't pop.
job.
And I think it's still closed. I'm hoping it's closed. That shit was trifling.
It need to be forget clothes. Somebody bomb that motherfucker
And plus,
just to
can't nobody fuck with
burn.
our parties, no way. So that's just what that is.
I'm gonna have to come to one of these
You
parties.
don't have to.
Yeah.
You're more than invited.
Me and Silk going. We coming together.
I had to go for
Hey.
research purposes.
Yeah.
You-
I'm
you've been the
retired,
one,
so y'all
but
let me know how they
It was
go.
low key though. It was a little
Yeah, I was
small.
just there to
It's supposed to be a car party.
Use
but-
research.
Yeah, I had a paper.
I just want to
Interesting.
research.
I had a paper the
Yeah.
next day,
I got
double
paper
space
too.
and everything, so I just had to make sure.
Y'all
I
had
was
to
just
call
wanna
me on
research.
on
I
speakerphone or
wanna
something. Let me
research.
know how to go. You know I'm retired.
Get your. Boy, you lucky I don't have my sound effects button here. Boy, if you don't get your.
Yeah, there you go.
I've been trying to stay retired for the longest.
You
I've
are
been
in here
doing
in a
good.
lace mask. You are not retired from nothing.
I am retired, but I have to
She-
wear my
Alright.
mask because I'm a dude. I know.
You retired from the swinger life?
I'm retired from going to parties.
Oh, okay.
I am. I'm
So do
pretty
you
retired.
necessarily have to get involved if you go?
No.
Oh, okay, you can watch?
I mean, it depends.
Yeah,
though. It
I was
I like
depends.
watching.
But
I
no,
watch.
it depends on who party though. Because on my parties, you had to get involved some kind of way. Now, if you're gonna watch, I prefer you play with yourself. I know for me, I don't like people watching me. Give me a show. I want to see you pull it out, do something.
yeah.
Like, give me a little show. But some people just don't mind the watching. The problem when you start having people just watching, then it turns into just a room full of people just standing around.
Oh, gotcha.
And then it makes the person that's doing it, they might be uncomfortable, or the female might be uncomfortable. And you got to remember, she always has to be comfortable.
Right.
So it's cool if you're going to watch, but when it turns like 20 motherfuckers watching you, it's like, okay, come
Yeah,
on,
that's
y'all.
creepy, yeah.
And ain't nobody jacking on, nobody sucking dick, nobody doing nothing.
But at the
Give
same
me
point in time,
something.
on the flip side of that, see, that's how you feel personally. Because I mean, I understand.
But you know too, I like a certain look at my party
I
too.
understand.
Okay,
but you can't.
I like sexy.
You can't control the complete narrative.
Well, you know what I do and I don't control. You
trust
seen
me,
what I do.
I know.
Okay,
so
well, you know what
allow
I do.
me to interject. So, in the situation of the parties that we've hosted since 2004 to like damn near like 6 months ago, everyone who comes is like a family. We all from all walks of life, cops, beauticians, barbers, auto workers, lawyers, doctors, whatever. You name it, they come. In our situation, if you have nothing to lose, we don't want you there. Because you're going to put somebody else's business out there.
Sure.
You have to have somebody at home that you don't want to lose, something of value, your privacy, your personal space.
So we take the phones away and all that.
Well, we don't take the phones away.
In St. Louis, I'm going to tell y'all the difference because they don't do that here.
Well, I'll just say this for my parties. We don't take the phones away because we trust everyone to be mature and adults to not take pictures.
Yeah,
Plus,
I ain't that
but hold on. At the same point in time, people have been known to snitch. Like, hey, man, hey, bro, like, it could be somewhere like Silk. Silk could say, hey, bro, put your phone away. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we have a system where people are vetted. So you may bring her. So we trust her because we trust you.
Okay.
If she fuck up, both of y'all gone.
Right.
And that's how we try to keep it, each one teach one. So that way it trickles down and everyone stays legit.
Okay.
And throughout the years, it has worked. We've had people we did have to ban, but throughout the years, some people have come back being very apologetic and say, you know what, man, we fucked up. We realized y'all shit hot. You cool peoples.
Yeah.
We fucks with you, Mo. We fucks with you, boss lady. And they want to come back.
I would say that's the difference between St. Louis, and that's the unfortunate part. And I'm not going to say all of St. Louis, but most of St. Louis, because most of the parties I've been to out of town, especially in Atlanta and Miami, your phone is taken away.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody fucking.
Right.
Flat
but
out period.
But that's also at trapeze.
Well, no, even at a private event.
Okay.
Because even on the East Coast and the West Coast, especially in California, everybody has this rule of, first of all, because I feel like if you're not fucking or doing something or you're not semi-naked or all the way nude, I feel like you here to spy, tell, or do something else. So now I can't trust you because I don't feel comfortable. And that's where St. Louis, is kind of like we said, we're a little too lax versus when you start going to other cities and other countries, because hedonism, off the chain.
Right.
I mean, but St. Louis, that's the only thing I don't like about it. Because then, it's too, like she said, y'all should be taking phones. You might trust them. I don't trust them.
Yeah.
And that's
You know what I'm saying?
And
That's why
fine.
I'm looking at it. Like, I don't
know they
trust
ain't.
them.
And that's fine. But
I ain't that trusting.
the reason why I can trust them, because these are people who have been in the game with us from 2003, from 2004.
I mean, that's true. You have like
But
your
you said
normal.
I have that.
You trust them.
Right.
You know.
You have
Right.
your normal
Yeah.
people, but the problem
wouldn't-
is when you start trying to bring new people in, now it's kind of like, I get that you trust them, and I'm sure that you feel like they supposed to be 100 with you, but you and I have found that sometimes that ain't always the case.
Right.
Because, like I used to have to call him all the time, like, yo, somebody done took my motherfucking shit, and then they try to tell my old dude, and then I'm calling around like, yo, I'm telling him,
Hold on,
delete.
but that wasn't from a party. That was a situation from Facebook.
Well, that's the
back
other
when
thing.
You can put videos on.
If
there,
you
they
know,
stealing
I
y'all
will
shit.
say this. That's the other
this
problem with
shit.
St.
It's that
Louis
deep.
versus
Yeah, it
other
was.
cities.
Yeah.
St. Louis was known for like more Facebook groups. When you start looking at other cities though, they ain't had no Facebook groups. The shit was still discreet. Like when I was brought into life, it was that discreet where
Right.
we ain't doing no Facebook group. You might see a post that say we advertise and this is the location, but they would send it out privately to certain people. But there was no post of videos. There was no post of pictures. There was no post of, yo, what happened last night at the party. There was none of that.
Right.
It was all, we just show up. We fucked, you didn't fuck, you got down, whatever you did, and then we move on to the next one next weekend. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't even know who was there because guess what? Ain't nobody in the list that said, I went, oh, I wish I could have went. None of that is going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's
now,
the
that
only
would be-
difference.
yeah.
That's the difference between, St. Louis and some other cities. And there's a few cities that do the same thing, but it would be nice for St. Louis to get out of that. Get out of that area because you'd be surprised who the fuck would show up at your shit. I'm just saying. It's cool to have regulars, but sometimes them newbies just, we all know what it's like with a newbie.
Mm-hmm. And how?
Yeah, break them down how you want to. Like, sometimes it's just
wrong,
good to
Sil?
kind of get away from it. But,
I be having fun.
I mean, he know it firsthand. He know how it is when people just, it's just sometimes it's just too much, and then it make you want to sit back and say, I'm gonna sit out the next 3, 4, 5. Like I'm gonna just sit this one out because people doing too much.
Yeah, people do too.
Just way too much.
So I'm glad we got a chance to get everything out of our systems, off our chests, off our minds, and definitely out of the kindness of our hearts. It is unfortunately time for us to say goodbye. This hour was a fast one.
That was too quick.
That was the quickest one we ever had.
So
Quickie.
as always,
like
party
quickies.
people, it was good to have everyone here. Thank you once again, Madam
you for having
Coleman.
me.
Thank you once again, Klevah, and our lovely guest, Madam Renee, aka Texas Homegrown, and my dude right to the right of me, Mr. Silk.
Real quick
brother.
before we
Thank
go,
you,
tell
thank
people where they can find y'all at.
Yes, give me your socials.
You can, right. You can find me. You can find me on IG at Texas Homegrown 50. My Facebook, Renee Benson, but Texas Homegrown 50 on IG.
Yeah, on Facebook or Instagram, Silk Ellis, SILKELLIS.
All right, cool. All right, Klevah.
You can find me on social media, Klevah_Shaw. You can go to the website, whatklevahdoes.com.
All right, and as always, you can find us at the FOTI podcast on Facebook and business page, as well as the _FOTI _podcast on Instagram. So in the meanwhile, in between time, always remember, you could deny the lie, but you could never deny the truth. Always live your truth. All right, y'all.
Booyah. Okay, there it
That's your
is.
sign off now?
Well, that's it, y'all.